What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have the keys to the 2021 Cadillac CT5-V. Huge shout out to Randy Marion for providing this car for me today. Definitely check out their website. That will be down in the description. This model here is finished off in Black Raven and it has an MSRP just over $64,000. Let's go ahead and start off today's review by jumping up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 3-liter twin-turbo V6 engine. This is paired with the 10-speed automatic transmission and it pumps out 360 horsepower around 5,400 RPM and 405 pound-feet of torque around 2,300 RPM. It is rear-wheel drive. It weighs in around 3,900 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, up to its top speed of 155 miles an hour, and with a 17-gallon fuel tank, you can expect to see around 18 miles per gallon in the city and 27 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 116 inches. Its overall length measures 193.8. It has a width of 63 inches and a height of 57.2 inches. With all those specs out of the way, now we can go ahead and jump into the exterior walk around on the CT5-V. I'm going to start up front with the grille. You'll see it's finished off in black, gives it a really cool look against the black exterior color. So a lot of accents on the exterior are black, as you'll see later in this video. We have the Cadillac badge right in the center, along with a nicely integrated forward-facing camera. You'll see that tucked up underneath, and then we have all the parking sensors running throughout this bumper as well. Making our way to the headlights, you'll see they are LED, and this has LED DRLs and LED turn signals. I really like the design of them. They are vertical. You can see they run from the back side of the headlight housing all the way to the lower section of the bumper, and then you'll see some more of that mesh pattern just inside both of those. This also has really nice contoured lines running throughout the entire front end of this vehicle, and then making our way to the hood, you'll see there are 4 lines running down it, just giving it a very clean look. Making our way to the side profile now, we're going to start off with these upgraded wheels. They measure 20 inches. They have a multi-spoke design to them, and you can see the red Brembo brakes just behind them. So I really like the side profile with everything being blacked out. You can see more black around the window trims. It's on the side mirrors as well. They also feature the integrated turn signal and a camera underneath each one, and I will show that later on in this video. Up on the roof, you can see this has a full moonroof, and then jumping our way back down to the side skirts, you can see more of those contoured lines that tie in nicely with the front end, as I already showed. You'll also notice the V badge on the front quarter panel, and then a really nice line that extends from the headlights. It goes above the door handles and all the way to the rear taillight. And then talking about these taillights now, you'll see they have a darkened tint to them, giving it a really cool look against all of the black. They are LED as well. You'll see there is a trunk lip spoiler that gives it a great touch. We have the backup camera along with all the parking sensors and the lower diffuser. You can see there's a few fins there just to add to the aggressive look. There's also the third brake light and the quad tip dual exhaust. Now it's time to go ahead and take a look at the interior on the CT5-V. Before we do that though, I want to talk about this key fob. You can see it's red on one side along with having the V logo, and then of course we have all the other controls on the back side. If I go ahead and lock this vehicle and then double tap on this button right here, this has remote start, so that's a really cool feature to see, and then you can even hear that exhaust when you start it up in the morning. And then with the vehicle locked and the key in my pocket, all I have to do is walk up to the door handle. There is a release on the back side, and you'll just pull on that in order to unlock the door. You'll also notice there's a Cadillac emblem on the back side of the door handle, and you'll use that to lock the doors. But now we can go ahead and take a look at this door panel, where you'll see there's carbon fiber up above on the top of it, giving it a very cool look. We have the release handle along with lock and unlock. This model has the 15-speaker Bose audio sound system. You can see all of the window controls along with the memory seating adjustments, along with the side mirror adjustments as well. There's also the trunk release, another speaker in the lower section of the door, and a little bit of storage space right in the middle. And now making our way to the interior, you'll see the V badge down on the door sill, and now we can check out these black leather seats. You'll see another V logo right in the center, and then we have really nice stitching that runs down the bolsters. You can also see a hint of that color in all of the perforations running throughout the entire seat. Just gives it a very nice look. The forward section of the seat here, you can adjust that by pulling this tab. You can move that forwards and backwards. They're also heated and ventilated seats, and they have an 18-way power adjustability. And now, once inside with my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and start it up. And then looking at this digital gauge cluster now, you'll see it has a lot of information to offer. Up top, you'll see a V badge and then the RPM gauge. So when you give it gas, you will see that, of course, when you do that. Really cool to see it running across the entire top. Over on the left side, you can see some temperatures along with TPMS. And then on the right side, using buttons on the steering wheel, you can go through a lot of information. So right now you can see oil temperature, we have some transmission fluid along with tire status, and then you can scroll over and look at your trip information. You have performance, so your 0 to 60 with your best time, and you can scroll down and look at your G-force meter. We can scroll over again and look at the driver assistance. This vehicle has a lot of standard safety options, which is really nice to see. You have your audio, you can look at your navigation when that is on and running, along with your phone. You have your maintenance for your oil life, along with different options that you can scroll through to be able to configure this. And so you can see there's a lot of information to go through. You also have the engine temperature down on the lower left, and then the fuel gauge on the lower right. And now making our way to the steering wheel, you'll see it's completely covered in solid and perforated leather. Has a really nice design to it. We have the Cadillac logo right in the center. Over on the right side, I was using all of these controls for the right side of the gauge cluster. There's also a V button that you can push. You have volume for the radio, and then the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, which have a really nice design to them. Over on the left side, you'll see cruise control settings along with the heated steering wheel. You have the gap adjustment along with your Bluetooth and voice commands. And then making our way to the left side of the steering wheel, you'll see the electronic parking brake along with a dimmer switch for the gauges. And we have the adjustments for the heads-up display. So if you click on info, you can actually change what you're looking at on the heads-up display. You can look at the miles per hour, you can pull up the miles per hour along with the speed limit sign, and then the last one is the tach and your miles per hour. You can also adjust moving this upwards and down, and then you have the brightness for it as well. You'll see there's one air vent above all of those controls, and then we have more stitching running across the entire dash, leading us to this center screen here. You can see there's a lot of information to go through on this system. You can see your audio and phone along with navigation. This has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We can swipe over to look at some more information like the camera and the climates. There's also a video recorder as well. And then the last page has a few different things you can configure so you can look at all of that information at the same time. And then running across the bottom, we have the home button. So just by pushing on that, this is the default home screen. And then you also have some shortcuts to your climate along with navigation and your phone. You can also use this dial down below if you don't want to use the screen itself. So you can rotate this dial to go through all this different information. If you click on that dial, that is how you enter what you would like to. And then you can just click on the home button here to get you back to this page. There's also a physical button for the volume and power for the radio. You'll see there are two air vents just underneath that. And then we have this really nice row of buttons that mimic the V logo. So it comes to a point right here. The left side and the right side are aimed up. So it mimics the badge you saw on the seats really nicely. That is a great touch to see. And then right in the middle, there is an LCD screen for your temperatures. This does have dual zone climate for the front seat passengers. You can also see that adjustment in the upper screen as well. We have some recircs and the sinks. On the left side is how you adjust where you'd like the air to go. And then just underneath that, we have the heated and ventilated seat controls for driver and passenger. If I push on this button here, you will see in the upper screen here, you have parallel park assist along with perpendicular. You can choose whether the vehicle is on your left or your right, and this will help you in those situations. So that is great to see. You can also turn on and off the parking sensors. You'll see you can turn on and off the lane keeping assist along with a shortcut to the camera system. So I'll go ahead and show that with my foot on the brake. I'll use the release on the left side. We can go all the way up into reverse, and that will bring up the backup camera. So you'll see the guidelines along with the top-down view, and then we have different angles that we can look at to help with better visibility. You can see the camera angles there along with turning on and off the guidelines, and then you can also look at this in full screen as well for all of these different angles. So by using that button on the right side, that brings up the top-down view along with the guidelines. So really nice to be able to see that. If I put the vehicle into drive now, you can see the forward-facing camera. So you have a lot of visibility around this entire vehicle. You can also put the vehicle into park just by clicking the P on the top. And then right in front of that, you can see the engine start stop feature along with the auto hold assist. There's traction control, and then a mode button for the different driving modes. So you can see we have Tour, Sport. When you put it into track, the exhaust note gets a little bit deeper. And then the last one is Snow and Ice. And you do have a My Mode as well, which you can configure. So that is really nice to see. You'll also notice a wireless charging port over on the right side. And then behind that, there are two cup holders. So you have a nice spot for those. And then you can also control that center screen with all of these dials down below. So you'll see the rotary dial We have shortcuts to the navigation and music along with your phone. And then there's another radio dial and being able to change stations above that. So it's really nice. However you'd like to use this screen, you have multiple ways to do that. Making our way to the armrest now, you'll see it's covered in leather and more of that stitching. We can go ahead and open this up. You'll see a 12 volt along with a USB and USB-C port and a lot of storage. There's also a phone slot too. So you can place your phone there, which is a great spot to see. And then making our way to the glove box, you'll see more of that carbon fiber, which is really nice. And then we have the normal glove box, which gives you a lot of space for all of your items that have to go there. So we'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats. And then as I mentioned earlier, this does have a full moonroof. You can see it's split for your backseat passengers and your front passengers, of course. You have all those controls up in the center, along with some OnStar and other safety features, and the dome lights. Jumping into the back seats now in the CT5-V, I'm gonna start off with the amount of room that you have. At 5'10", you can see I have the front seat set at my height. I have about 4 or 5 inches in front of my knees, and then the headliner actually goes back up, giving me about 2 inches above my head. So it's pretty comfortable in the back seats. I love the bolstering support that they have, just makes them feel nice and comfortable. You'll see on the door panel, we have more of that carbon fiber, which is really nice that it's carried on to the back seats, of course. And then right in the center, there's an armrest. You have 2 cup holders if you need to use those. You'll see there's more space behind both of the front seats with some small pockets there. You have 2 air vents at 12 volt and a USB-C right in the middle. These seats also have a 60-40 split to them, so you can fold them down using a latch on the side of the headrest just to give you some more versatility. And last up, we'll go ahead and take a look at the trunk storage space. There is an electronic button to the right side of the backup camera, so I'll just push on that for this to open up. And you can see there's a good amount of storage space with the back seats up. We have a nice flat surface with no overhang, so you can put in any items if you'd like to. Over on the right side, there is a cubby here, so if you want to place items in there and you don't want them to roll around, you can place them in there. And then with the back seats folded down, of course, that gives you a lot more storage space. And along with that, you'll also notice there's even more hidden storage space up underneath the floor mat. And then up on the trunk, there is one grab handle, making it very easy to close. All right, so getting the 2021 Cadillac CT5-V out on the road now. I drove a base CT5 a few months ago, so now we get to check out the V and its performance in normal mode here. We'll just give it a little bit of gas. That sounds really good. I wasn't using the paddle shifters at all, which actually have a really nice design to them. I didn't think that they would be this long, and let's go ahead and test them out. So in manual mode now, we might as well pop it into sport mode, and we'll downshift. We got some pops in that exhaust. Man, this is a really fun car. Coming around this turn. These shifts are incredibly smooth, and even the driving of this car, it's handling really well. It's very quiet on the inside, so I'm very surprised you can hear that exhaust for how quiet it is. You can't hear any road noise or wind noise. But you can hear that exhaust. It pops on every upshift. That was something that I wasn't expecting, so that sounds really good. I love how quick these shifts are too, and I love seeing the RPM there go across the whole upper section of the screen. That's a really cool touch. It gives you like that race car vibe, that sporty performance that the V is known for. So we can go back into drive just by toggling the center shifter there. And now we can go ahead and move on to the visibility. It's really easy to see in this vehicle. I love the design of the side mirrors too. They have a nice sleek shape to them. Looking over your left and right shoulder, the pillars are not really that bulky, so you can easily see. You can look out of your rear view mirror, and then you can also flip this up. This model does have the rear facing camera, so that is mounted on the back side of the roof and the antenna fin that is up top. And now you pretty much have a 180-degree view of what's behind you. And then just talking about the interior again, I love the center screen here. It's in a great layout. It gives you a lot of information that you can go through. And just putting a couple miles on this so far, it's been very comfortable. As I said earlier, it's very quiet on the interior, but these seats are incredibly comfortable, and you have plenty of room for 4 other people. So this is a great daily driving vehicle if you need it. It's very practical. You can fold the back seats down. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of the 2021 Cadillac CT5-V. Once again, huge shout out to Randy, Marion, Cadillac for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website, and if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of our daily uploads, and I'll see you guys in the next video.